In today's video, I am going to explain why and how I refused my compensation and pension exam when I had a sufficient DBQ while working as a VA rater. So make sure you stick around. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD89 VA Claims Consulting, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I am going to explain why and how I refused my CMP exam, also known as a compensation and pension exam, as a VA rater. But before we get into today's video, make sure you go out, purchase my new book, VA Claim Success. You can click the link right below this video, or you can go to Amazon.com and put in VA Claim Success. So today's video, why and how did I refuse my CMP exam as a VA rater? Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of blowback saying, oh, you can't refuse an exam. You have to go to the exam. But it's some things that those critics fail to realize, okay? And also, this is your claim. I am not saying you should go or not go. I'm merely explaining what I did, why I did it, and how I did it, okay? But in some other videos, I explained some of the 38 CFRs and the M21 reference that afford you, the veteran, certain rights, okay? So let's start with the why. In some of my other videos, you probably heard me talk about having 4 compensation and pension exams when I first started to adjudicate my claim, okay? The first exam was great. The examiner actually listened to what I had to say, measured the range of motion the way he was supposed to, and was truthful on the CMP exam. Now, about a week after that, I went back to the VA, release of information, pulled the exam, looked at it, yep, positive opinion, yep, everything was good to go. The second CMP exam I had was one of the worst exams I had. As soon as I walked in the office, I just felt that examiner had that negative energy. I didn't get greeted. They was just like, oh, just sit down. I'll get with you in a minute. And I'm like, man, he's just rude, and not being nice at all, not saying that they have to. So as he started to do certain things, I was asking questions, just to make sure I understood what he wanted. And he looks on the paper and he turns around and asks me, are all you people naturally big? Now I'm 6'4", 230, athletic build. And so I asked him, I said, well, what do you mean by you people? And so it went left real quick after that. So at that point, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, okay, what is my next move? Because he's giving me this energy that he's going to provide a negative opinion. And that's exactly what he did. So I waited about a week, went to release of information, pulled the CMP exam, and he flat out lied. Not once, not twice, but multiple times. So I ended up filing a complaint with the director of that hospital that was over that CMP exam, okay? I end up getting some corrective action in a few months, but here's the kicker. A few months later, I'm at work and I'm rating claims. And I get this veteran's file, and this veteran had a particular exam, and guess who did the exam? Yes, Mr. Man himself. Are you people naturally big, okay? So I'm looking through it, and it's wrong. This is wrong. That is wrong. And I go to my supervisor and I say, hey, I think this is a conflict of interest because this examiner screwed this exam up. It's insufficient. And I know he's screwing things up because I filed a complaint against him. So I know he's doing things wrong. He's not doing them the right way. So they take the case, go to the front office, upper management. Nope, not a conflict of interest. Rate the case. All right, cool, no problem. I can't rate it. I'm sending it back. And I'm sending it back like 2 or 3 times. And this is back when there was paper files. So these files had to go down to publications. They had to ship it to the hospital. They shipped it back, and this vet is waiting, right? And I ended up getting this supervisor on the phone, and I told him I'm that person that filed a complaint. So I know that he's not doing it right. They took the claim from me, never saw it again, okay? So my third C&P exam was a result from the second C&P exam and the complaint that I filed with the director over that hospital, okay? So it took about 6 months. A lot of people may think 6 months is a long time. Back then, the average rate time to get a rating decision was 1 year, okay? So I go back in 6 months, and I was like, just stay calm, don't, just be positive, think positive thoughts. So I walk in, the lady was really nice. She was training another examiner. She was asking me, how you doing? How you feeling? And I was kind of scared to even answer that question. And as a matter of fact, I didn't. I just said, look, I have some concerns. I was here a few months ago, and I had that C&P exam with me. And I said, I'm here for the same exam that this particular doctor did. And he flat out lied on the exam. And he stated he asked me some questions, and I responded a certain way, and I didn't. So my question to you is, are you going to be honest and fair? I said, that's all I want to know. And she said, yes, I'll be honest and fair. And had an awesome exam. About a week later, I go back to the release of information office, get the exam. Yep, pleased with it. She was honest and fair. Now, my last compensation and pension exam, it was probably twice as worse as that second exam. The lady, I came in, she was like, just have a seat over there. And she sat there for 5 minutes and didn't say nothing. Didn't say, let me get your last 4, let me verify it's you. And then she just started asking questions. I was like, well, you're going to verify it's me? Oh, yeah. So we went through that. And she was asking me questions about some things that I wasn't even there for and things that I wasn't even service connected for. So I asked her, I said, well, I think you may have the wrong vet pulled up because I'm not here for those particular conditions and I'm not even service connected for them. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I said, but ma'am, those, so I was like, you know what? I could feel the negative energy and that negative opinion coming. So I didn't say anything. Said, okay. Went through, and the questions that she asked me, I said, I'm not able to answer that question because that's not what I'm here for. So we finally get through it. I'm in there like 45 minutes, so she's not saying anything. She's sitting at the screen. I'm sitting there looking through some paperwork that I had. And she was like, okay, I'm done. I got everything I need. All right. So what I do, go back a week later, get a copy of the C&P exam, and guess what? She filled out a C&P exam, but think about DBQ, for something I wasn't even there for. Had my name on it and everything. And I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Now, those are the reasons why I refused C&P exams. Now, how did I do it? Well, before I get into the how, DBQs came out a few weeks after that fourth and final C&P exam for me. So once the VA gave raters training on it, I vowed right there and then, I'm never going back to a C&P exam. Never. I made my mind up. I was like, even though I had 2 really awesome C&P examiners, the other 2 were horrible, and I didn't know who I was going to get, okay? So I was like, I'm going to have to do what I have to do with these DBQs, start calling my private doctors and all that stuff, okay? So how did I refuse it? My last exam, I had a DBQ, and I submitted it. So I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you don't know what makes a DBQ sufficient. Yes, I do, because I was trained by the VA as a rater, and I rated veterans' claims based on them submitting sufficient DBQs. So I know what makes a DBQ and or Nexus sufficient, okay? So when I submitted mine, I made sure mine was good to go. My private doctor had a copy of my claims folder, looked through it, so they had the same evidence that that third-party examiner had. Get a call from QTC, the lady says, hey, the VA has contracted with us to request an exam. And I was like, for what? And she told me, I was like, no, I'm not showing up. My private doctor already did my exam and I submitted it, and the VA is well aware of it, so they have evidence to adjudicate my claim. So this QTC rep tells me, your private doctor is not allowed by VA law to complete a DBQ. Now, I had about another month at the VA, so I was working, I was on my computer, and I was like, what? I was like, did something change? So I get in the M21 right quick and I look, boom, nope, none VA provider, none VA provider, none VA provider. DBQ, none VA provider. So nothing changed, right? So I explained that to her, and then I say, well, I'm a rater, though I submitted those requests that you're looking at. So what you just told me was false. And she said, well, what would you have me to do? I said, well, send it back. Let them know that I'm not reporting for the exam because I don't want there to be any conflicting evidence. Now, I knew she was going to put I refused it and nothing else. So now I'm thinking, what can I do as a follow-up? Okay, let me call the National Call Center, the 800 number, right? So I get the rep on the phone, and since I'm sensitive 7, I can't talk to the reps that a lot of you guys and girls talk to. So there's only certain people that can look at my claim because I'm sensitive 7, right? Now, I get on the phone with this young lady, really nice, and says, and I told her what happened. She said, well, maybe they just want to see something. Okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt. Are you in VBMS? Dead silence. Because now she knows I know the process. I know the systems that we use. And she said, yes. I said, so can you click on the deferral link or tab to see if the RVSR deferred anything to the VSR about my DBQ or request an exam? Sure. Clicked on it, nothing. All right. Click on the note link. Is anything in the notes? Nope. So there's nothing that they probably want to see. The only thing they need to see is my sufficient DBQ. So on the 0820, the report of contact, can you put on there that I refused the exam due to the fact I did not want there to be any conflicting evidence from a doctor that has never treated me before and I do not trust. And then I had her to read it back to me, okay? Real nice, wasn't a rough or tough conversation, adversarial. A couple of weeks later, guess what? I get my rating decision and it's positive, all right? So I just want to share that with you. Now I have other videos on my channel where I talk about insufficient DBQs, some things that some VA employees are doing when you submit your sufficient DBQ. Now, understand, this is your claim. If you go, you should understand what can happen. If you don't go, you need to understand what can happen and which 38 CFR and M21 references are on your side. When VA employees say, oh, I don't like private DBQs, you don't get paid to like that. You get paid to rate the claim based on the evidence of record, okay? So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your federal veterans. Thank you.